All right, everyone, welcome back. Get ready, because today we're going deep, deep into the Dota 2 world.
Deep, deep.
Deep. That's right, and we're focusing on a player who goes by the name of Cherry.
Sounds delicious already.
Maybe. We'll see. And to help us peel back the layers of this Dota mystery, we've got Cherry's Dota buff profile right here in front of us.
Yeah, and this is a gold mine. It's got data from thousands of matches, all sorts of heroes. It's beautiful.
It's pretty amazing what you can find on these profiles.
It is. It's like a window into someone's Dota soul.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Looking at Cherry's overall stats, we see a win rate of 50.63%.
Which right off the bat tells us something interesting.
Yeah, it's not like mind-blowingly high, but
But in Dota, you've got to remember 50% is basically the baseline.
right, because for every win, there's a loss on the other side.
Exactly. So even being a little bit above 50%, it means Cherry's doing something right.
Okay, so now we're getting into detective mode. Let's see if we can figure out what that something is.
I love it. Let's do it. What do we have next?
All right, let's check out the roles and lanes data. We've seen Cherry plays support 55% of the time and core 45% of the time.
So pretty balanced.
Yeah, definitely comfortable in both roles, but there's also a strong preference for the off lane.
Ah, the offlane. That tells us a bit more about their playstyle.
How so?
Well, offlaners, they're often the ones who initiate fights.
Right, they're on the front lines.
Yeah, they like to control the tempo of the game, dictate the pace, not just react to what the enemy is doing.
Interesting. So Cherry's not just sitting back and warding, they're in the thick of it.
That's what it looks like. And, it's already painting a picture of a player who likes to be proactive, who likes to make things happen.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dig into their hero choices. That's got to give us some more clues.
Absolutely. Let's see what heroes Cherry loves to play.
All right, at the very top of the list, we've got Invoker, 575 matches,
Whoa, that's a lot of Invoker.
but with a win rate a little bit below 50%.
Interesting. See, now Invoker, that's a hero that demands a lot of skill.
Yeah, there's a reason they call him the king of complexity.
Seriously. To truly master Invoker, it takes dedication.
And even then, winning consistently with him is no easy feat.
Nope, not at all. So what does this tell us about Cherry?
Well, to me, it says they're not afraid of a challenge.
Exactly. They see that complexity, that difficulty, and they're drawn to it.
They want to conquer Invoker, even if it takes hundreds of matches.
All right, moving on, we got Mirana.
And this is where things get a little bit more interesting.
Oh, how so?
Look at the breakdown. They play Mirana, both as core and support.
Oh, wow, you're right.
Yeah, which suggests a certain level of flexibility.
Mirana is a hero who can fill multiple roles. She's adaptable.
Exactly. So Cherry's not just locking themselves into one playstyle with her.
They're reading the game, figuring out what the team needs, and choosing the best approach.
Okay, so we're seeing a pattern emerge here. Adaptable, proactive, not afraid of a challenge. What else have we got?
Okay, let's look at techies. This one's kind of surprising.
Yeah, Techies, known for being a strong hero, especially in pubs. But Cherry's got a surprisingly low win rate with him.
That is interesting. Now, techies is a hero all about map awareness,
Knowing where the enemy's going to be.
setting those traps in just the right spots.
So it's less about direct fighting and more about strategic play.
Absolutely. It takes a certain mindset to master techies.
So maybe that clashes a bit with the more aggressive tendencies we've seen from Cherry so far.
Maybe, or maybe it's just a work in progress,
But the fact that they keep picking Techies, even with a low win rate, it tells you something.
It does. It says, I'm going to figure this hero out, even if it kills me.
Which, honestly, we've all been there with a hero, right?
Oh, absolutely. That drive to improve, that's what makes Dota so great.
Okay, so we've got a pretty good sense of Cherry's hero preferences, but there's still so much more to explore.
There is. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
We've got achievements to unpack, an activity calendar to analyze.
And we need to dive deeper into those individual hero stats.
So much more to uncover, so little time.
Let's get to it. So we were talking about Cherry's persistence with techies.
Right, it's like they see the potential there, even if the win rate isn't quite there yet.
Exactly. They're not giving up. And speaking of not giving up,
Yeah.
check this out. August 2nd, Demolition Maniac achievement unlocked.
Oh, wow. I'm guessing that one's got to be for Techies, right?
You bet it is. And to get that achievement, you need to rack up some serious kills with techies.
So they're not messing around, they're putting in the time.
Absolutely. This isn't just some casual fling with techies. This is dedication.
It's like they're saying, I'm going to become the Techies master, even if it takes me 1,000 matches.
I love that attitude. It's that drive to improve, to push yourself. That's what makes Dota so special.
Okay, so speaking of putting in the time, Let's look at Cherry's activity calendar,
Yeah, good point. Let's see how consistent they are.
because we all know Dota rewards consistency.
It does. Regular practice, staying sharp, keeping up with the meta, it all matters.
And looking at Cherry's calendar, it's got some peaks and valleys.
You're right. Periods of intense play followed by some gaps.
I'm curious, how much do you think those breaks affect their performance?
You know, it's hard to say for sure. Dota is a game where momentum matters.
Right, if you're not playing regularly, it can be tough to stay in the groove.
Exactly. But then again, everyone's got real life stuff going on.
True. Life always throws curveballs.
It does. The important thing is that they're coming back to the game. They're not giving up.
Right, and that's what counts. Okay, let's move on from the calendar and zoom in on some individual hero stats.
Love it. Let's get granular.
We talked about Invoker, Mirana, Techies, but what about some of the other heroes they play?
Well, their Pudge stats are pretty interesting.
Pudge the Butcher? What's going on there?
Look at the match breakdown. Almost equal as core and support, with consistent win rates across both.
Wow, that's impressive. Talk about versatility.
It's like they're saying, give me the hook, any lane, any role, I'll make it work.
That's the sign of a player who truly understands Pudge, knows how to leverage his strengths.
Absolutely. And it speaks to their adaptability. They're not afraid to experiment, to find what works.
All right, so we've got the adaptable playmaker, the challenge seeker, the persistent tinkerer. What other pieces of the Cherry puzzle are we missing?
Well, we focused a lot on hero choices, but what about their decision-making in the game?
Yeah, good point. We need to go beyond just the hero picks.
Let's peek into their recent matches and see if we can find any clues there.
Okay, I'm pulling up their match history now. Scrolling through, we see a good mix of wins and losses.
As you'd expect in any competitive environment.
Right, because Dota's a team game.
Always. You can't win them all, and you can't always carry your team.
True. But we can still look for patterns, tendencies, those moments of brilliance, or maybe, learning opportunities.
Exactly. So scanning through these recent matches, what are we seeing?
Well, one thing that jumps out is they've been playing a lot of Axe lately.
Axe the Mogul King, interesting. Primarily as an offlaner, I'm guessing.
You know it. And their win rate with Axe is pretty solid.
Makes sense. Axe's aggressive playstyle, the ability to initiate fights, it fits right in with what we've seen so far.
Like finding the perfect hero for their playstyle.
Exactly. It's like they've found a hero that truly resonates with them.
And remember how we talked about Mirana being their Swiss Army knife hero?
Oh yeah, the one they play both core and support.
Yep, that's the one. Well, in their recent matches, they've mostly been playing her as core, focusing on farming and carrying.
Interesting. And how's that been working out for them?
Yeah. Their win rate with core Mirana is actually noticeably higher than with support Mirana.
So they're leaning into that proactive playmaking style, even with a hero known for her flexibility.
It's like they've found a way to blend Mirana's versatility with their own aggressive tendencies.
And it's paying off. All right, I'm really starting to see the complete picture of Cherry as a Dota player.
Me too. But there's one last thing I'm curious about.
Okay, hit me with it.
Their KDA ratios. I know they're not everything, but they can be kind of revealing.
Oh, absolutely. KDA, kills, deaths, assists. It tells you a lot about a player's impact.
So what do Cherry's KDA ratios tell us?
Well, to be honest, they're a bit all over the place.
Which, given everything we've seen, isn't too surprising.
Not at all. They play so many different heroes, different roles. It's bound to fluctuate.
So what's the takeaway here?
The takeaway is that Cherry is not a one-dimensional player. Some games, they're the kill-hungry playmaker, racking up those kills and assists. Other games, they're the silent support, setting up their team for success, even if it means sacrificing their own KDA.
So it's not about chasing those flashy stats. It's about doing what the team needs to win.
Exactly. And that's the mark of a true Dota player. All right, we've spent this whole deep dive, going through Cherry's Dota 2 data.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. We've learned so much about their playstyle, their hero choices, even their, activity patterns.
Yeah, it's like we've been putting together a puzzle, revealing their Dota personality piece by piece.
Exactly. So let's answer the big question. Who IS Cherry in the world of Dota 2?
Based on everything we've seen, I'd say Cherry is the definition of adaptable.
I think that's a great way to put it.
They're not afraid to break the mold, try new things, constantly experiment.
And their win rate might hover around that 50% mark,
But it doesn't tell the whole story.
nope. Because what we see here is a player who's focused on growth.
Yeah, they're all about exploration, understanding the game on a deep level.
Right, like their willingness to tackle those super complex heroes like Invoker.
even if